हेलो, 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 नमस्कार, जय श्री राम, जय हिंद, क्या हाल चाल हैं आप सब लोगों के? फाइनली, you don't have to say that I have come on time or a session that you all were waiting for. But finally, वो सेशन हो रहा है जिसका मैं भी ऑलमोस्ट 2 साल से कोशिश कर रहा था एंड कहीं न कहीं कुछ न कुछ डिस्कनेक्ट होता है और जैसा कि कहते हैं ना, जब भगवान चाहता है, उसी समय पे आपके जीवन में वो होता है जो उसकी लाठी आपसे करवाना चाहती है। अब भगवान ने डंडे नहीं मारे हमें, पर भगवान ने अपनी लाठी के साथ सहारा देके हमें एक कनेक्शन बिठाया है विनोद अन्ना के साथ और फाइनली आफ्टर 1 एंड अ हाफ 2 इयर्स ऑफ अटेम्प्ट, लेट्स नॉट वेस्ट एनी टाइम, अन्ना को पहले स्क्रीन पे लेके आते हैं। बट बिफोर आई ब्रिंग हिम ऑन द स्क्रीन, लेट मी जस्ट टेल यू दिस वीडियो इज़ गोइंग टू बी प्राइमरीली इन इंग्लिश बिकॉज़ थोड़ा इंग्लिश हिंदी का थोड़ा-सा प्रॉब्लम है। बट विल ट्राई टू मैनेज, बीच में हिंदी करके मैं आपको बताने की कोशिश करूँगा इन केस अगर आपको ज़रूरत हो कि हम किस बारे में बात कर रहे हैं। विनोद अन्ना, नमस्कार।
नमस्कारम।
नमस्कार।
सब
सो
सबको नमस्कार। मैं हिंदी में बात करने का 2-3 लाइन कोशिश करता हूँ बिकॉज़ बात करना थोड़ा मुश्किल है बिकॉज़ प्रैक्टिस नहीं है।
practice nahi hai. But you know
पूरा समझ
the
सकता
most
हूँ।
the most beautiful thing though, even though this language barrier that people say exists between North and the South, which
या
actually never made any sense to me.
या
We've talked for the first time on phone yesterday, and
यस
immediately this conversation, I don't know, it's not only with you, but also with people from South. Everyone automatically it comes either brother or Anna. You know that
यस
that connection of brotherhood is always there, irrespective of people might say ki south is alag hai, north alag hai, but that warmth immediately comes while you communicate with someone, right?
यस यस So this word Anna is very much used to it. So before we begin, let me just thank you for the show, inviting me to your StyleRug. You're doing an amazing job. I'm sure you're also facing the same problems, taking the same beatings that every Sanatani takes.
चलता रहेगा, but Anna, सबसे पहले before we go into the serious topics and the people that we want to talk about, I want to
Yeah.
take this opportunity one more time to let people know कि your channel was attacked, it was removed from YouTube. You have come out
Yes.
with your own OTT platform. In
Yes.
short, if you can just explain to the people, in case they are aware about it, but in case people who are not aware about it, description box के अंदर सारे links दिए हुए हैं आप लोगों को, तो please go ahead subscribe to it. But if you can explain them how this whole platform works and what is it going to offer to the people.
So the OTT platform right now contains the videos which are I used to stream on YouTube.
Hmm.
All the content that has been deleted by YouTube, you can watch it on my OTT. I have put a bare minimum 99 rupees per month subscription because when I used to play on YouTube, it is all for free because the platform is somebody else. It is YouTube. It is like YouTube itself is an OTT where I create an account and then do things.
Hmm.
Now, if I want to run a site of your own, you can imagine the cost that you need to incur on that and how expensive it is. I already burned 15 lakh rupees on the site, and you have seen
Wow.
how beautiful the UI is. And there are still issues. It takes another 2 months to fully stabilize the site, and then to fully after 2 months, the site will have all the features that Netflix, Amazon Prime has. So we are working on it. Still, there are a lot of challenges, and but I just want to say that whatever the video that you're missing on YouTube, the content which nobody information that is not available anywhere is the tagline, right, for String Geo. So that content you can watch it at a minimum price of 99 rupees per month. It is 999 rupees per month. It is not like 99 multiplied by 12. There is a 10%
Hmm.
discount. So it goes like that, the commercial aspect of it. Otherwise, it
So,
is, yeah.
so in the future, just like YouTube allows other content creators to upload their content, do you have plans of allowing other
Yes,
content creators to come up to your
yes.
platform and host it?
Yes, that's why it is called Bharat Ka OTT, where I want to collab with all the creators. The moment you open Stringio, right now you will see only String Vinod producing content, but later
Hmm.
we are trying to collab with all the small YouTubers, from small YouTubers to big filmmakers, where we ourselves are working on many films. I'm currently working on a huge animation web series which will be released in another 2 months. So, of course, there are ways where other creators also can do content in string geo. Yeah.
Okay, Anas, let's come to the elephant in the room.
Yes.
What happened? What happened with YouTube? Who are the people who do not want you talking?
You have seen my channel where I'm the
Yes.
person who straight said Congress is not an opposition party, it's a party to destroy India. We have posted Jihadi itself as a opposition party, which is fairly true. We are seeing the activities that the opposition parties are doing, uh, joining hands with all the deep state, George Soros, all the terrorist leaders. Rahul Gandhi made a trip to US to meet the terrorists particularly. Things are exposed, and we were instrumental in exposing the George Soros in every video 2 years back when nobody knew, and now the whole mainstream media is talking about it. This is only one person, but there are other people whom I particularly. My channel is all about exposing the funding data and the connections with deep state, the whole astrology, the whole connections of all the people. If you take any particular name, we will not leave even his 3-year-old work profile data also. And thanks to Vijay Patel for putting so elaborate threads and exposing this data. So when I took names of Neeli Ganesh, Wipro Azim Premji, all the deep state people, why do you think they will tolerate? So attempts have been happening since so long to take down my content, somehow delete this content. Suddenly, 2 months back, I received a mail without any prior notice. This is again a totally illegal and unfair practice done by YouTube. If the company has any sort of reputation, it is a total crap what they have done to me. This is not at all the way a reputed company functions. That is one thing. Then I have moved all the top people behind it to restore my channel, and I tried my ways. And there is still hope that they are trying their best, because now is a time where every kind of person is busy with some of the other issue in the nation. It might not be such a big issue to be focused on, and then um, it is so sad to see that YouTube as a company is not taking instructions from the current government. It is taking instructions from the opposition parties and the goons of the deep state. So outside, it might look that you have violated the terms and conditions, community guidelines, and nonsense. But if you look at their terms and conditions, you will see how ambiguous they are crafted. And see, we can clearly see Durga Mata prostitute videos are still there on YouTube, right?
True.
Not taken down even after how many people complained. Every regularly in our group itself, there are hundreds of people who complained, raised bullying, harassment content, reporting on that videos. But when report happens on our videos, they simply delete it. And so now my OTT, the coming back of Stringy OTT is a resounding slipper shot kind of. I mean, these people think Bharat is a digital colony that they can control anybody who is out there. Recently, we have seen a Twitter post where they have deleted Open India's Facebook and Instagram profiles. Somehow they're trying to revive it back. I'll pray for that. I'll full support to Nupur Sharma. But
Even for Swaraj, they have deleted their
yeah,
page also. Yeah.
so what does it mean? I mean, you want to. These are platforms which propel only the fake news and the false news and the jihadi peddlers. Nobody who talks truth will survive over there. So that is another meaning. I want to connect this a little deeper, and I also want to give a little bit of information to people. See, this generation of people, we see a lot of people who take things for granted without any background check. This is very bad. You look at youth, if anybody does a troll video on somebody, they will enjoy taking things for granted. If the same troll video is being shown in other Western states, they will not take it seriously. They will insist people, okay, get me the proof. This is a troll video. What is there in it? I can also make. You get me the, is it correct? Is it proof? This attitude is completely missing in India.
mm,
Our people will enjoy the troll videos than the original videos. So that is an instrument used by the deep state to destroy the characters of. It is so easy for them to destroy the characters. So you take Adani, Sadhguru, or any other YouTuber who is not necessarily myself. And I'm really not here to advertise the string channel. The thing has already got a very good name. I need not even do that. So I mean to say, this connection has to be really, really looked at and explored. If you look at the email services, who is the man who invented first email services? It is Indian Hotmail, right? And the
mm,
Bill Gates purchase. People say it is purchased, it, but the true word to say it is, we sold the talent, and that is how. See, if you look at the Pirates of Silicon Valley documentary, it has a clear-cut information as to how Bill Gates stole things. He is a thug. The UI, the user interface is not his. The mouse idea is not his. It is taken from the Xerox company. Xerox is the company which first used mouse, invented mouse. He stole from it. And then HP is the company which is supposed to be Microsoft now, but they lost the deal due to some reason. There is a documentary by the name The Pirates of Silicon Valley, which shows the childhood days of Bill Gates to how he has grown to a big businessman.
mm.
He is a bloody thief, bloody cheater, and even now this is how he steals. Recently, he kicked out OpenAI CEO, and then he owned things. So you look at the way he's trying to control the world and own the information of everybody. Now, when somebody out there goes against him, it is information, the whole web is his. And we are a small people playing a game in their platforms. This is very bad. The only way we can resolve this is create your own platform. And that's where I am now.
Just a little point to add over about Bill Gates. Correct me if I'm wrong in my information. The
Yeah,
first operating system that Microsoft actually took out, the baseline was actually created by Apple, if I'm not wrong. The DOS format and
absolutely.
all those things, and that
Absolutely.
is how he stole the whole idea and created his own software, which, frankly speaking, still lags behind Apple by I don't know how many years. But
Yes.
continuing just a little bit more on Bill Gates, his role, even though you have explained it beautifully in your videos that you had uploaded and you talked about these people, but
Yeah.
people have had this, for the lack of a better word, a conspiracy theory also, that
Yeah.
which probably is true, that he was one of the key contributors in the Chinese lab that came out with a virus
Yeah.
that shackled the whole world, and thousands and millions of people died. Do you think the control that these people have, not only with the money, but over the
Mm.
years, the connections that they've built, the deep state that you talk about
Yeah.
in India, especially in the developing countries, which can be seen, they might have seen 20 years back that, okay, India is going to grow. So how do we
Yes.
control them? Control certain families who run them. Is this how the deep state works, or are there any different methodology that they adopt in terms of controlling how the narrative is going to be?
See, the key point to be looked at when you talk about deep state is who is trying to control the entire world is the
Hmm,
question. And Bill Gates, when he did not see this much money, it is all about how to steal this computer, that computer, etc.
hmm,
But when he saw this huge success and money flowing in and everybody purchasing his operating system, you look at
hmm,
the Gmail service, the way it has found acceptance in all countries, the amount of usage by people. The Indian guy who first invented this Hotmail did not foresee this, and he sold it off, and for
yeah,
a little bit of money, we lost control. This is one thing. And now coming to this COVID thing, I would call him no less than a murderer. And this all will happen in such a diplomatic and corporate way, and so academically they will seep their medicine into your blood and DNA into
hmm,
the humanity so academically that you miss the point. For example, there is one ad with Nas Daily that Bill Gates is providing a plastic bag and an injection for a newborn baby for a pregnant woman. He is offering few things which are fully made of plastic steroids for a
Hmm.
kid who is newborn. This is a serious insult to humanity, and they call him a philanthropist. And actually, if we talk more about it, they might trigger this video also down. So, but still, let
Right.
me finish the point. Or let me finish the point.
Hmm.
People are not. People are actually used to stupidity and illusion to that extent where, if you just trace back and look at 30 years back, how
Hmm.
women used to deliver kids, how women, pregnant women, they never visited hospitals, right? When the hospitals came recently, like 200 years before that, how women used to, were there no children?
Hmm.
How animals used to breed, right? They were, even now animals don't go to hospitals to breed, right? Why this nonsense only for human beings? See, corporate ladies, they have very weak abdomens. Abdomen has muscles has to be very strong to deliver a baby. When you see a lot, there is this feminist mentality where woman has to come out and work and all these things. Okay, you work. I'm not against it. I'm saying you maintain your health to deliver a baby, right? You
True.
don't. There is a huge amount of population out there. Now, Bill Gates is the thief who is going to encash this market
Hmm.
in the name of population control. It is all about injecting dangerous vaccines and steroids and killing people. You see, when I posted that Bill Gates PCOD video, how many comments under my video that I'm actually suffering with PCOD? What you
Hmm.
said is true. I'm not aware of it. They give this injection to back spine. You know that injecting something to the spine is the most dangerous thing. It will slowly kill you. Maximum lifetime will be like 40, 50 years.
And all this, when all of this was predicted, maybe not predicted, but announced or given a spoiler like in early 70s or early 80s by this guy named Kissinger. But then again,
Yes.
people in India don't really, have this tendency to accept and see that, okay, trouble is coming, we better buckle up. But
Yeah.
moving on from Bill Gates, I want to
Hmm.
bring a name. Apparently, he seems like a favorite to you because I think the biggest contributor to you not being on YouTube is a guy named George Soros.
Yes,
Even I have talked
international
about
villain.
him. Yeah,
Yeah,
even I have talked about him, but of course not in the elaborated manner and the whole visual things that you do, which is by far one of the greatest, beautiful production that I've seen on
thank you, thank
social
you.
media, to say the least. This guy openly says, "I will remove Modi. I'll spend this
Yeah,
much money." Any nationalist, he's against him.
yeah.
What do you think is the primary reason? I mean, it can't just be one guy. It has to be ideology, the nationalist ideology. It can't just be a guy.
Yes. So whatever you talk in the world, there are. It boils down to the fight among three major religions in the world.
Hmm.
Three major religions. You might think Hindutva, Christianity, and Islam. No, it
No.
is Hindutva is not even in the race, because you look at the entire world, the percentage of religions, Muslims are 40%. 30 to another, the remaining percentage are Christians, and the majority chunk is Jews.
Hmm.
This name itself, even Twitter will block you if you take out the name Jews. So, with all due respect, let's talk about it. There are these two companies known as BlackRock and Vanguard, and I think the world knows who handles the money in the world. It's Jews, right? Banking system was invented by them, and the Swiss bank and everything. The top money handlers are Jews. Now, when you look at the biggest share investment companies, BlackRock and Vanguard, people say that these two companies, I discount Vanguard, only BlackRock, only one company controls the entire world. It
Okay.
is that big, and that is owned by Jews. So they don't like taking their names and making a political choice out of it. But end of the day, it boils down to all the fight between this one religion wanting their people to be the top. That is where this George Soros comes into picture. He doesn't see the Western religions, the religions which are not Sanatan Dharma, which are not rooted in Sanatan Dharma. They know only material well-being. And material well-being, it's not unlimited, right? It's limited at certain point. When you acquire everything, when you enjoy whatever is there in the physical pleasures of the planet, you don't know what to do. That's where you become violent.
Right.
That is where conquering others, if you want to do something else, you will end up doing things here itself. But Sanatana Dharma, the beauty of Sanatana Dharma is we explore the beyond. We explore something beyond physical, and we realize that this is not permanent. This is anyway has to go to dust. And then let me start explaining. Then the beauty of, you can see the gurus, the kind of theories they propounded, the mathematics, all the top science and the equipment that the urban world enjoys here. We have seen all that 4,000 years back, right?
Hmm.
Praveen Mohan's channels, when the archaeological excavations happened, they batteries, vimanas, and all sorts of things. He actually shows iPad and cell phone being crafted in a temple sculpture. So that's
Even
it.
the usage of mercury,
Yeah,
if you go into the historical, wrong word, if you go, अगर शास्त्रों में जाएं, वेद पुराण को अगर हम पढ़ें, उसके अंदर
yeah,
even the usage of mercury, the whole design of how a space shuttle works, everything has been
exactly.
there. Now,
Yes.
either people were high on LSD that time, which was not present, I'm assuming, because it was recently brought into this particular world. But the whole
Yeah,
ideology in Sanatan has been there, not only in terms of just the basics of how to live the life, but also
yeah,
to how to aspire more, how to go beyond.
yes,
And that itself could be a little problematic for the people to digest. Okay, this poor country, this snake charmers, how can they know so much of stuff? And if
let's,
one and if one guy, I'll just last line, if one guy comes
yeah,
in, which is Narendra Modi, he's going
yeah,
to bring them up and show the whole thing to the world. Let's
yeah.
curb them.
Exactly. Let us answer that. How these snake charmers you can invent so many things. How can these people talk about science? So actually, the scientific and the urban life, the rich, knowledgeable life that we are talking about, it ended. Right now, we are not in that era of
Hmm.
sages,
Hmm.
Aryabhatta, Swami Kanada, Gurutvakarshana Shakti, all these concepts, the Sushruta Maharshi. So all these people existed at one point in time, and they have written books: Sushruta Samhita, Bodhi Samhita, Charaka Samhita, Siddhanagarjuna, medicines for the diseases which would come 5,000 years later were written down in our books. And these books were stolen recently. There is one, this Newton's gravity laws were stolen from Vaisheshika Shastra, is trending on Twitter.
Hmm.
So this is just one thing, but let me just straight declare that the Western scientists have got no balls to invent anything because the very approach itself is wrong. They are not meditative. When you don't meditate, you just end up neurotic in your brain, trying to figure out something in a logical equations which would never work. And the damn machines are freaking out already upon us.
Hmm.
But the machines invented by our ancient sages, uh, they are magical. So that is one thing. Now, if you want to explore how to do this, the only way to explore this science is through yoga and sadhana. You will have to find a physical vehicle to transcend the physical. So that is what is being taught in Vedas, Upanishads, and all our
Hmm.
gurus is all about. This is completely missing in the West.
Hmm. Anna, one of the amazing thing about you while you were present on YouTube when we used to watch the videos continuously was not only the content that was well researched, of course, and a lot of hard. We could see in the videos that a lot of hard work has gone. And since you are not available on YouTube right now, you have created your own platform. What I want to understand from you is, as a common man, how do people like you, people like us, because people look up to you now, trust me when I say this, you have
Yeah.
become something else now. How do we fight these people, names like Bill Gates or George Soros, people who have got so much money in their terms? What is the right path to fight them? Because at times it does seem like, even though we are the majority, it doesn't feel like we are the majority and we are actually running the country. So what would your idea would be? What would be your roadmap in terms of taking on these people?
It's a very significant question. This is a very important topic to be talked about. See, we cannot fight the enemy, because
Hmm.
Sadhguru said in one yoga Yogeshwaraya consecration that the ignorance is so powerful. The ignorance is so powerful that it can put off all the light on the planet. The light
Hmm.
is very minimum right now in the planet. That means
Hmm.
the beings with clarity are very minimum. Lot of people are drugged out. If you look at the youth, is completely exploited.
Hmm.
The youth is totally into this drink and drug trend. You hardly see people who wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning and do sadhana and then maintain a fresh brain, vegetarian food. All these people. So these people will attract only perverted stuff on the planet,
Hmm.
and whoever is encashing these markets, these big conglomerates who made businesses out of these people. You look at pharma lobby is not providing any medicine and cure in the planet. This is 2023, and people, the statistics say that there are 6 doctors per 100 people or something. There is doctor every street or something.
Hmm.
But still, why the disease in the world has not gone down? Because it is the damn pharma lobby is an exploitation. It is not curing the disease.
Hmm.
It is like putting you into a completely diseased state that the doctors can make a business out of you.
And
This
you're
is what they
dependent
call.
on the medicine, whatever the disease is for.
Exactly. So now, when I say it is not about making a hopeless comment that we cannot fight this, we cannot fight Bill Gates. There is a way to do
Hmm.
this. See, the world is in the hands. For example, if you have given the control of the world to a mad person, you just have to wait and still entertain him, and in a very intelligent way you should grab the key from him. Otherwise, what will happen is he will simply call it. If you make any arrogant and aggressive and hatred content on him, he will simply call it, okay, wind up Microsoft in India, and
Hmm.
everybody who is working here will lose the market. We shouldn't do that.
Hmm.
Another thing is, he has hands ready on the nukes button. He might press the nukes, and immediately nukes will be in the air. So we cannot do any sort of bullying stuff. It is about finding a way to technically, in a very intelligent way, we should get the key from him. It is not about. We should actually drop the idea of fighting them, because we are not such a big conglomerates. First of all, money is in their hands, power
Hmm.
is in their hands.
Hmm.
In the entire Bharat, there is only one person, Adani Group, who is rising above. And the moment he achieved third richest person in the world, you have seen how many attacks.
Yes.
Hindenburg report and all these things. He almost shook his market.
Hmm.
If they can shook Adani himself, who are we?
But to what you said, Anna, just right now, I'm just trying to visualize or try to connect the dots, as they say. When you said, if there's a mad person, you just don't go bully him. You just wait for him to self-destruct, basically, or to find out a way around him.
Exactly.
So, would you say that one of the taglines or one of the ideas that has been thrown by Narendra Modi and the BJP in the last 10 years has been "Make in India"? We were great at making softwares.
Yeah.
We could make satellites, but we could never make planes. We could
Yeah.
never make assault rifles. We could
Yes.
make these Mark II, Mark III missiles. BrahMos was invented long back. Agni was
Yeah.
invented long back, but basic stuff we were not making. Do you think this Make in India has also triggered a lot of nations wherein they are saying, okay, this nation suddenly, depending on so many things on us, is going in a very different route, not scared of Pakistan, not scared of China,
Yes.
talking to Canada, talking to US, like, if not above you, we are not below you.
Yes, exactly. Modi ji is the game changer. And Modi ji, you might have seen, he receives a lot of appreciation from across the globe. But at the same time, a lot of hatreds, a lot of ambushes being planned by Biden and all these people. In front of the camera, it is all about smiling and shake hands. But inside the heart, there is a huge poison and hatred
Hmm.
that this man is growing, this man is going to take up the power, and the threshold that we are sitting on right now is overnight becoming a superpower. That
Hmm.
is the threshold. It could
Hmm.
happen anytime. It is all about a bunch of business people. For example, if you look at Sridhar Vembu, who invented Zoho Mail,
Hmm.
that is a service which has potential to take over the entire Gmail, right?
Right.
But still depends on how much people use it. I mean, we should realize a lot of people don't even know that there is some service like Zoho Mail exists. People are so addicted to Gmail and Google and stuff. But when you create an account in Google, you should be aware where your account details are going and who is controlling it.
Hmm.
Who would control it? Recently, Bill Gates is talking about a social score. You know that social score. That means in future you will end up a situation where if you want to get into a bus,
Hmm.
you will need a particular social score. Otherwise, you will be kicked out of the bus. How do you
Hmm.
achieve that? What is social score? You must be halal certified. You
Wow.
must subscribe to Microsoft. I mean, his own product. The list of all will come. Propaganda stuff will come, right? Otherwise, you will not get. We are moving towards it. So Google is will threaten you soon. The more it is not like we should never give the full power to one person,
Hmm.
which is happening, which has happened right now. So that is where when you were saying Modi ji is like Hamara create our own products, that applies to internet and web also. All the developers who are watching this show or would watch in future, please understand it's very important to create our own platforms.
True. And when you said social score, and I don't know whether it was a joke or not, halal certified, but for a moment I had this visual wherein I thought, okay, if I have to get on a bus, maybe controlled by Bill Gates or a subsidiary company, I'll have to
Yeah.
wear a Windows 11 t-shirt. I'll have to, I'll have to wear a pant which will have a mouse on it, indicating that okay, I'll use Microsoft mouse and things like that. And then
Yeah.
maybe my shoes can be made of Apple, and I can just throw a half-eaten apple on him and say, okay,
Yeah.
dude, you cheated, and things happen. But it's basically discrimination on the basis of whatever the F they want to discriminate you at the
Yes.
level they want to.
Exactly. It is about converting you into a slave of their company.
Hmm.
He wants a bunch of slaves, and he imagine he is a king of the world, and he has a bunch of slaves.
Hmm.
And that guy is a very wrong king even to imagine
Hmm.
in the world. So, if at all you want to imagine, Modi ji must be the king. The king must happen from somebody from Sanatan Dharma for
But
everybody in the world to live peacefully and happily.
Hmm. But Anna, according to Modi ji's own stipulation that he has made, anyone above the age of 75 should not be holding a public office, especially at the level that he is. And
Yeah,
by 2027, if I'm not wrong, 27 or 28, something like that, he is
yeah,
going to cross that mark. Do you see
yes.
him stepping away, and maybe someone else taking a charge for a stopgap arrangement, and then maybe the new leaders, maybe a Yogi or a Hemanta Biswa Sharma, and these kind of people coming up?
100% it is needed because what happens when the age progresses,
Hmm.
compassion seeps into the body,
Hmm.
which is very dangerous for a leader, prime ministerial position that India is supposed to have. You
Hmm.
understand what I'm saying? If you feel
Yes.
compassionate, you feel compassionate even to the murderer also. Ah,
Right.
okay, this guy murdered. Karma will take over. So
Hmm.
these kind of things will naturally come into, and you will be in a resting position where you cannot swiftly make decisions. If you
Hmm.
look at Modi ji when he was a chief minister, and now when he is a prime minister itself, we can see a lot of difference, right?
Yes.
How fiery he was in
Hmm.
Gujarat,
Hmm.
that bulldozing the all the beer bottles scene or
Hmm.
whatever, it was a heroic thing. Godra se leke to you take any of the performance. But now we see, when he's in prime minister, he's conducting things more. Of course, I appreciate him for whatever he's doing because it is. I'm a very small guy to comment on his job, but what he has done is commendable, handling this situation gracefully and peacefully. See, in other countries, Tahrir Square or whatever where this riots happened, the
Hmm.
prime ministers flew away. They ran away from the buildings of the country, right?
Hmm.
That was the situation. But here, no civil war happened till now. They are planning every kind of. You look at CAA, NRC, UCC, or the Aadhaar card, ED and CBI also. There is a protest. Agnipath, everything there is a protest and trying to evoke civil war kind of situation. Zubair is trying his best to do certain things, but still no such thing is happening here and no havoc, peacefully handling things. And Modi ji went up to a point where successfully he banned PFI also.
Yep.
No disturbance. You see, no ripples happening. This is a ultimate level of prime ministership. Nobody else can do. And I, as a fiery person, I definitely want Yogi ji in place. I want to see the prime ministership of Yogi ji for sure. It's going to be like, imagine that bulldozers swag I want to see.
The feeling is mutual about Yogi, but when you said that you are a fiery person, immediately a scene from Pushpa came into my mind. You know, he Vinod नाम सुन के flower समझ गया fire है मैं.
Again,
But jokes apart, this whole the the word that you used, the civil war kind of a situation,
yeah.
would you say it? Of course, the government has to do what it has to do, and it does what needs to be done to protect the citizens and the whole system that has to work to
Yeah.
keep things in check. But would you also say that even the often blamed majority of this
Hmm.
nation, they
Yeah.
have also played, irrespective of every second day we see Sartan se juda, aaj isko maar diya, kal isko maar diya.
Hmm.
But we have been patient for the last 1,000 years.
Yeah.
We have been
Yeah.
patient. And we have made sure that even though people from yesteryears until today, they've been poking at us non-stop, we have found a way to survive and to now talk about it. Earlier, maybe not
Yes.
so much, but now talk
Yes.
about it.
The social consciousness of Hindutva people has increased a lot. Especially in the north, it has increased a lot. In
Hmm.
south, it has to increase even more. In south, it is actually nothing. We
Hmm.
see hardly any people who even come out and create a YouTube channel from south, right?
Hmm.
Everybody is leftist.
Hmm.
All my troll videos belong to the leftist Andhra states. All my
Okay.
people who troll me, they belong to Tamil Nadu, Andhra, and Telangana. Nobody from even Karnataka is doing this, even though people watch me across India. So you
Hmm.
look at the consciousness of Hindus who actually really know the situation. It is more in north, less in south.
Hmm.
And even if I make this comment, a lot of people will be saying, Anna, don't divide north and south. I am not dividing north and south. I'm just addressing the northern part of India is more aware of the danger, and more people have awakened
Hmm.
to the revolt.
Hmm.
And it is very difficult for the jihadis to take a command over all the entire Hindutva in the north. And in
Hmm.
the south, it's very, very easy. It is already in the control of the Muslim population. The population, not Muslim having control in the Muslim population is, I don't see it as a bad thing. Having control in the hands of jihadis is a bad thing, right? And
Hmm.
the dangerous lot of people is actually not religious people; it is the politicians.
Hmm.
You look at Pinarayi Vijayan, Jagan, and DMK, and all Siddaramaiah, the kind of the Revanth Reddy chief ministers in South India, hopeless, hopeless kind of situation. Already this guy has started the free buses and all these things, and Siddaramaiah is talking about like 10,000 crore funds to be given to the minorities.
Hmm.
What nonsense! Unless and until if the leader conducts the state properly, where will these minorities will get power to?
Hmm.
Certain are the scary activities that are happening. It is just a bad governance. It is not about Modi ji is saying the central government is always looking at. If you look at all these Yogi ji's activities also,
Hmm.
they are trying to bring in a lot of discipline into whatever the religions that are living in the state.
Hmm.
That if that policing and discipline is missing, that is when you breed criminals across all religions. You suppose people who are complaining if you take away Muslims and Christians, in Hindus itself groups will start forming, right?
Hmm.
That awareness is completely missing in the south. And let me also say this, uh, in north, if I go to any temple and then say Jai Shri Ram, I will see at least a batch of 100 people chanting with me Jai Shri Ram, right? But
Yep.
in South India, if you go to any temple and say Jai Shri Ram, no sound at all. I will feel, okay, did I say anything wrong? If I look around, nobody will even join me.
Right.
It has had to. It has had to come up.
Mm. We'll maybe touch upon this thing a little bit later on, but one thing I want to, while having this conversation with you, I'm trying to visualize you as a person. Everyone knows who String is. Everyone knows what he does. Pushpa ka second name, fiery hai.
Yeah.
And I've seen you talking to other people. I have
Mm.
seen you interacting with them, talking about various topics and about the country, social stuff, the religious stuff. I want to ask you, and let me know if someone has asked this side of yours to be explored.
Mm.
How did it all start? And even though you come across as a very, for a lack of a better word, very Rajnikant kind of a person when go when you go on string reveals ka video, the actions that
Yeah.
you do, you have this spiritual side which is visible to an
Yeah.
extent, not completely, but to an extent, people know that you are involved in certain things behind the scene. How did it all start, and how has it helped you in becoming the person that you have today? That even though people want to take you down, you're still sitting here, your head high, you're spending money from your own pocket, trying to create something which, again, for a lack of a better word, maybe a lot of people may not even appreciate, but you're trying. How did this all happen?
Actually, in the questioning itself, you articulated it very well. Thank you so much for that. It all started with the fire that is ignited and a lot of frustration as a person, where I saw what a damage that happened on me for
Hmm.
almost like 20 years. I'm talking about the education system.
Hmm.
What a nonsense has been fed into my mind. And the awakening happened because of Sadhguru. When I went to
Right.
Sadhguru and when I saw the reality and when I have taken the beating, then I understood it. The mind became so totally dizzy. I do not know what to do in future, because when you look at outside, there is a whole array of fraudulent companies where I should join as an employee
Hmm.
and work for this money, which will anyway completely lost heart and hope to do that. What I want to do is, wherever I see, I want, when I in 2011 in my college itself, when I look
Hmm.
at people, this thing is happening default within me, that I want to educate this guy. This guy
Right.
is going wrong. This guy is not even in the track. So I want
Hmm.
to put him in. This is happening within me, and then I also realized that I wanted to give more time to explore myself. And then when I joined Isha Ashram, when I spent 5 years there, the total understanding and the building of all these sacks and sacks of energy within me, all this revolution happened. And then when I came out, the only activity that is left within me is to work for Sanatan Dharma. And then I started this. Firstly, initially, I started with defending my guru, and
Hmm.
when I actually saw, I no, I put out this story everywhere. The attack is actually not on one guru; it is on Sanatan Dharma
Hmm.
itself.
Hmm.
Then I started with all the filmmaking skills. I basically am a VFX artist.
Okay.
In my college itself, I used to do some freelancing of t-shirt design sites and graphic design and etc.
Hmm.
And I came out with Hollywood dreams. Wanted to join as a in Feng Shui and ILM, work for the Transformers and this Assassin's Creed games and stuff. But still, I know I'm a very my second video in the channel itself is a 3D video, right? So I do a lot of VFX, 3D, and animation series. I did Tenali
Hmm.
RK animation series. So collabing with writers, Sarvagna is again a very good guy. Collabing with filmmakers, yeah. All these things happened. That is string journey. But now I'm at a stage where I have my own platform. I can take it wherever I want,
Hmm.
and I'm working on it to make it one more much bigger than Netflix.
Hmm. Okay, so people who did not know String Ka Journey, small little snippet of how it all started. But
Yeah,
has it changed you in terms of you also talked about being at peace and realizing things that exist
yeah,
or do not exist,
yeah,
not in the exact verbiage, but to what I could gather.
yeah.
Is it a long process, or is it a tiring process? Is it a process that may tell you at times that okay, dude, not happening? let me just go back to my normal materialistic life. This is way too hard and boring, if I may say. This is boring. Let's get out of it.
So, like, we should remember Osho's words where he says, "This is not a journey, there is no distance to it. You already are the person that you are aspiring for because you are already spiritual. You are already enlightened." When you say how to attain enlightenment, he says, "You are already enlightened." I should actually imitate Osho now. Since you are already enlightened, the only thing is the illusion of the mind, which creates a trajectory of seeking, striving to achieve it, is an illusion which will actually stop you from achieving it. And a lot of people end up wasting lifetimes into it. It is all about if you just close your eyes and start observing things and dig deeper into it, the answers are immediate. So that is how simple it is. But I also would like to talk about people who troll Sadhguru. This is what the trend right now, right? So, I mean, whenever you get some science data into your brain, you use all that and feel smart fashionably about trolling things. See, actually, they do troll videos on gurus not because the gurus are fraud. It is only because our country is a place where you find idiots who take things for granted without even background check. And this is the biggest market to find people who, I mean, the bunch of trawlers. They actually employed this tool to spoil the lives of many great people. But when you do actual background check, you will not find any of this fraudulent activities done by the people.
One thing that I want to talk about, and because completely going into a different direction altogether, but something which I believe that changed my journey on YouTube, wherein when I read about it, I knew
Mm.
about it, but not in detail, and I read about it, and I was like, okay, what the F? That was my first reaction. I want again. I'm telling you, it's completely in a different direction altogether.
Yeah.
I read about Ajmer about 4 years back,
Wow.
4.5 years back, and I made a video on it about 1.5, 2 years back. And
Mm.
my first real emotional moment on screen was that video wherein I started talking about, and I could see visualize the girls who killed themselves, especially
Mm-hmm.
the one who burned herself on the bridge, just
Yeah.
to bring to the notice that this is what is happening. Now we
Yeah.
see the same conversations happening. The mainstream media has slowly
Yes.
started to talk about it. People are getting bullied for it. Nupu Sharma from Op India is
Yeah.
getting bullied for speaking the truth. But don't and surprisingly and not so surprisingly, Hindus are the primary contributor of that particular place to be run as
Yes.
lavishly as it is.
Yeah.
Why do we do that? Even though, and people say, "Yaar, छोड़ो ना यार, history ko." It's not fucking, sorry for the language, it's not history.
Yeah.
You were born 30 years back. This is your
Yes.
life. And if you don't want to talk about history, every second that we live itself is history. Like
Exactly.
48 minutes right now, that is your and my history together. Why do we do that even though enough data has been provided? And it's not a concocted story, it's reality. Why do we still
Exactly.
fall into this trap of falsehood? Fakir hai to badhiya hai, Sufi hai to badhiya hai.
Ah. See, the lack of artists, we should understand three things. In Sanatan Dharma, we don't have artists, we don't have funds, we don't have unity, and we don't have a narrative, we don't have a narration builders. It is all happening only now after Modi ji, after 2020, after 2014, people are coming. Hope India was not existent before that. Swaraj, we have like very infamous news publications. Only now these people are evolving, and more channels. If the deep state is still under the control, the platforms are still under the control of deep state. If one guy evolves, if one guy grows, they'll try to find every kind of way to put you down. If you look at my channel, I exposed every set of all this stuff. One video you take Greater Toolkit, it exposes the entire connections of all leftists. So they try and delete this. And now, when you look at the kind of approach that people are taking, they appreciate all sorts of propaganda films because they come in all attractive colors. The evil is so attractive, to put it in simple words, but the divine is so boring. That is where we are right now.
But I fail to understand this. You go to a bar, you go to a pub, you want to party, you want to listen to Sufi music सुनेंगे आज शाम को आज रात को.
Ah,
You go there and you say Maula Mere. That
mm,
is nice. But if the
yeah,
same place is going to sing Jai Shri Ram, then it's communal or maybe regressive है पुराना बात कर रहे हो
exactly.
and all these things.
Yes. In this, even the courts have the responsibility to change this. Should pass a verdict where what I mean these slur words and this community strict action being taken about these people who are complaining
Hmm.
regularly and constantly about Hindutva.
Hmm.
When these kind of beatings happen, then there will be some control in the society. Otherwise, when
Hmm.
you leave it to people, breaking skulls will happen, which is not good in the society.
Hmm. So would you say that a platform like Doordarshan, which was state controlled, and I did a video on Doordarshan about a year and a half back. I titled it "Who Killed Doordarshan?" The whole
Wow.
ideology of how it was state controlled and the narrative, how it's going to, what is it going to show, what kind of music is going to go online. Do you
Mm.
think maybe Modi ji can concentrate on reviving the product, maybe a little more appealing in terms of
Yes,
what people like seeing, and then
yes.
use that platform to educate people about the things that we have from history, from right now and the future that awaits for Bharat?
See, if you look at one narrative, Sadhguru is really good at giving very strong narratives. One
Hmm.
such example I'll pick for the context.
Hmm.
Suppose there is this guy called Gandhi
Hmm.
who propagated if somebody slaps you, you should show the other cheek,
Yep.
right? And this happened for real a few years ago, like
Hmm.
70 years back. Just 70
Hmm.
years back this happened. If you go 100 years later, suppose in 2070 or 2000, 3000, year 3000, our kids are our next generation people, if you tell this story, people will not even believe it.
Hmm.
If you move forward 30 years ahead, imagine a violent world where people even fighting for one bottle of water. If you
Hmm.
tell them the story that there is somebody known as Gandhiji who actually said if you slap, you should show one slap, they will immediately, "Hey, what the hell? This is not even true."
Hmm.
Do you understand this?
Yep.
We have people who actually saw this, witnessed the activities of Gandhi, and
Hmm.
going forward, they don't. We see a people where they don't even absolutely don't believe it.
Hmm.
This is the situation where, when you talk about Sanatan Dharma, a massive movement of spirituality is needed.
Hmm.
People should go taking this knowledge into everybody. I mean, the Ramayana, Mahabharata were actually still living place in many places. Mahabharata's lands are still under court debates,
Hmm.
right? If you take that Nasik and all the names which has come, those lands, if you take all the documents, are still they for sure belong to. There are archaeological evidences, all sorts of things,
Hmm.
but still people intentionally come up and say it did not happen. Krishna is a myth, sorts of things.
Hmm.
So there lies a great responsibility to actually in front of the temples itself, these inscriptions are needed,
Hmm.
and the next generation kids has to be educated with these stories
Hmm.
instead of the nonsense Sherlock Holmes and bullshit.
Hmm. But it's already 53 minutes. I'll ask you two more questions and then we'll
Yeah.
try to wrap it up. The time flied just talking to you and, about
Are we
things.
going to take any questions from people?
We will. I have saved. I will. I will.
Okay, okay.
One question from my side about people who influence you in your life and the kind of impact that they can have. Now, I will not name the person because, frankly speaking, even I don't know the name of the person. But
Hmm.
someone has been guiding me through one of the social media platforms for the last 3 4 months,
Okay,
for 6 months, sending me
okay.
beautiful messages in proper Hindi. I'm pretty good at Hindi, but even I fail to understand few words and I have to read it again and again. Okay, what exactly is the meaning and what is it he or she trying to say? Because I don't know the person.
Okay.
Do you believe in this ideology or the theory that people come, they will make some changes in your life, maybe for better at times, and quietly go. And those are the
Hmm.
kind of people who play an important role in the society, even though we do not realize that, okay, something happened. It happened out of the blue. It has
Yes.
gone now, but this is something I need to perform in someone else's life. Now, is that what you are doing? Because Your life changed 10 years back. You learned something. You
Yeah.
went, you followed an ashram, a person. You came out of it. And now the whole circle is just building up, building up.
Yeah, no, actually, it feels so sweet to even listen to that. Thank you so much. I might be that person, I don't know, I'm just working. There's still a lot to do.
Okay, so let me take first question from my Telegram group.
Yeah.
Nidhi has asked about. We talked about north, north versus south, not exactly,
Yeah.
but she wants to know what about her verbiage. What about Sanatan Dharma in southern states? The awareness amongst the younger generation.
Sanatan Dharma in southern states are rich in temples, so rich in massive,
And beautiful
magnificent
and
temples
magnificent, true.
that North doesn't have. But in terms of people, North has a very high, dynamic, knowledgeable people on Sanatan Dharma, which South doesn't have. South is still a bunch of woke Hindus, leftist Hindus who don't even know about Hindutva, who don't even know about Sanatan Dharma. They are only certificate Hindus. A very few handful of people, and most of the people here are flying to other countries, right? They're finding jobs abroad, and even farmers, they're aspiring to send their kids to jobs, software jobs, not continuing farming. So here it is very less.
Okay, let me take one question from the chat room before I go to Telegram back again. Our educational institutes have been hijacked by the leftists. What can be done to restore the imbalance?
One thing is people should take responsibility and start exploring Sanatan Dharma. There is enormous amount of information being put out by Sadhguru, Osho. There are Vedantas, there are scriptures, books. Bhagavad Gita is surplus quantity available. So nobody is stopping you to explore from it. And this is enough. If you actually simply read the complete story of Ramayana and Mahabharata itself, you will be cured of this leftism, the nonsense of propaganda.
Okay, one question someone messaged me Telegram में DM करके. Uh, I I don't know how deeper you want to go into that, but the person wants to know कि if you have read Mahabharata and what phase of the whole Mahabharata you are most inspired from and what the reading of it basically.
I had a privilege in my life to listen to Mahabharata narrated by Sadhguru himself. Sadhguru Mahabharata, oh my God, he just took me 4,000 years back or 5,000 years into that era and then showed things. One thing that I want, actually many things, I mean, transformed me when I looked at, few things. I became so silent. I wanted to contemplate in my mind and I became silent and I started making it into my blood and bones. Kind of things happened in Mahabharata. Apart from all that, because it'll be a very big subject to even talk about it. One point I wanted to talk about that is motor boats are being used. There is a clear-cut description written by Vedavyasa when Pandavas escaped from the wax building, when the building is being burnt. There is Bhima sent one escort. There is one guy who's clearly with a mask, a Gudachari, and then he turned on an engine which took them over across a river in a motorboat. Imagine when, 4,000 years back. So these kind of things are there.
Okay. One more question, and it is basically is back to education a little bit. The whole concept of Gurukul, which
Yeah,
still
yeah.
exists somewhere, but people do not want to, the corporate people do not want to send their kids. "अरे, Gurukul में जाके क्या करेंगे?" But let me tell you the exact verbiage of the question. The
Yeah.
Gurukul system has long been ignored, even by the current government. Do you see
Yeah.
them working towards the revivement of Gurukul, and if so, is it going to happen properly?
I don't see governments reviving Sanatan Dharma in any aspect. No. It is all about giving those permissions to gurus who are actually working towards it. You take Sadhguru, he is fighting hell, he is facing hell with the government to get permissions to build any Adiyogi or any other thing. Giving him a land or something, it's very difficult. You look at Sri Sri Ravi Shankar's ashram, he has set up a beautiful Vedantic school. And you don't know how difficulties, what kind of difficulties he's facing. And you look at Swaminarayan schools, they are not too many. And you look at Paramhamsa Yogananda schools, you look at every enlightened master, um, uh, Mata Amritanandamayi, she is also has set up educational institutes. There are number of gurukuls like this. Amrita University is quite famous, and even the placement, they are competing with the top NITs and IITs institutes. But still, the government's reviving it, I don't see, because they just have to facilitate the gurus to move faster.
Before I take one more question and then we'll move towards wrap up, just because you have brought out the name of the person, Mata Amrita,
Yeah.
I read about her for the first time maybe around maybe 20 years back, if I'm
Mm,
not overstretching.
mm.
And the only the recollection that I have from that moment that I read about her was how people just go to her, they just hug her, and people
Yeah,
start crying. And
yeah,
people start crying.
yeah.
And when I visualize these kind of people, I mean, these are the kind of people we need to follow. There's no glamour here. There is no showbiz. There is no, मुझे social media पे follow करो या ये करो वो करो. This is just pure love. If again,
It's
for the
an
lack of a better word,
explosion.
pure love.
It's an explosion of love. I had the experience, that
Wow.
very recently I had this experience. Oh my God, it was so divine when she was sitting there in the dark, in that low light room where people volunteers. The room is actually pretty flooded. When I saw that being in white robes and that nose ring is shining, twinkling
Yep.
like stars, I have written that experience. Oh my God, it was like, oh, I was like, yeah, what is happening here? Am I going to at least bow down to her? I'm preparing myself. I don't know. So it was so mesmerizing, one thing. And when she's hugging and then she whispered some mantra in my ears, tears. One moment of her life, at least, like, tears of love happened.
Okay, I've got goosebumps right now. I'll take one question from the chat room who is actually is a troller, but I'll still take it because it does make a sense to take that question. But
Yeah.
just a quick line that I want to add over here.
Hmm.
Talking about such kind of people, even though I'm not sitting there, I'm not sitting beside you right now, but it just kind of gives that, that bonding wala feeling that, okay,
Yes.
and it also provides you with a sense of how beautiful our culture is.
Yeah.
We don't talk about kill and this and that, हमको ही follow करो, हमको ही पूरे world के ऊपर कब्जा करना. We are happy where we are.
Yeah.
We are happy where we are. We want to live the way we want to.
Yeah.
And just our culture brings out tears in our eyes because we hug someone, and someone else's culture, maybe not to name anything, it brings out tears because it promotes killing case Kumar do, Kumar do. But then
Yeah.
again,
Yeah.
that's how life is. So I'll take a question from a troller Anna in the
Yeah.
chat room because
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
does make sense. If we know everything mentioned in religion, then why are we behind from in science and technology? I'm assuming she wants to say modern
Hmm.
agriculture. Look at China, West. They are so advanced. Transportation to medical to everything. Why are we behind, Anna?
This is actually a very bad and crooked perception, because whatever we are seeing right now, it is not advanced. You look at the ecological impact that all the top companies have on the world, and you look at the space dust these satellites are creating. We are so proud about sending satellites into the space, right? The kind of space dust and the damage to ozone layer, you name it, you can talk extensively about the ecological damage that is happening. There are so many zillions of life species which are becoming extinct every year. These worms and beings, these small creatures, are very much needed to enrich the soil and then keep up the environment, ecological balance. Everything is missing. And this talking about development and advancements that these foreign countries are have going about, there is nowhere near us. We are so rich. We are so rich. Yeah, I mean, there is this famous quotes from all the people who would say, doesn't matter how much money you have, you should have peace of mind, right?
True.
It doesn't matter when you don't have a good health in life. So of course Sanatan Dharma is when people are being taught the inner sciences and the way to evolve, transcend this physical body, how to conduct your death properly. Only then the civilization is advanced. And actually what we are living in is a very barbaric civilization. The urban life in the world has ended when Kali Yuga started.
True. Okay, last question, Anna. We have already exceeded 1 hour, but someone asked me, maybe a couple of years back, 3 years back, when I was going through some professional difficulties and all those things. Amazing person, beautiful
Yeah.
person to talk to. He asked me a question, and it gave me a pause in life. And I was like, okay, what exactly does he mean over here? But the
Hmm.
question was, what went wrong? In that one question, to me, I visualized everything that I had done in my life professionally. I was like, okay, trying to see कहाँ पे खराब decision हुआ, कहाँ पे क्या हुआ, or where did I go wrong? Where did the calculation go wrong? I
Yeah.
will not ask you that, but I want to ask you this: what does Vinod Kumar wants? What does he want? What does he need, if not want?
I want everybody to get initiated into Sanatan Dharma in the world. I want to have a company of friends who talk about how to fly in the air, how to teleport things, how to run at speeds of light, which are all possible things which were existed. We had mystics who used to play with rakshasas, and with one blow of a hand, they will like 10, 15 rakshasas will pounce upon you, and then there will be mystics who will be displaying another kind of feat, kind of things. These kind of the world has to be very rich in mysticism, because right now the human evolution itself is at a very low. When I look at this bunch of people, when I walk around in the street, I don't even feel like a better company, because people are very prone to deception. Their minds are completely engaged in the cell phone, and you can very don't even feel like talking to them. So this is what I want. And if you look at my expression in my YouTube channel, even if I'm actually planning to create one more channel. Even if
Okay.
I come about and speak, this is what I will express: what how to disturb the other person and tell them that bloody hell what you're doing is wrong. Come to Sanatan Dharma.
Someone noticed the pause that you took before answering that question, and even I was looking at it, and even I could, as I told you, it gives you a little perspective. I told you
Yes.
that that is going to be my last question. That was the last question, but I will take something from the chat room, because this is a big brother
Sure.
from another mother and from south of India, not South
Wow.
Indian, south of India. He
Wow.
says, please ask Vinod to imitate the German Shepherd. The name should not be taken.
Arre.
He's awesome at doing that as a closing. So, stage is all yours. You wanted to go to Hollywood. We are not Hollywood, but here we are.
No, that might be a fan moment, but why to give importance to that thug? He is not worth imitating. At least you should ask me to imitate Osho. I would do a better job, or I would. If you ask me to imitate Rajnikant, I would do a better job.
Can you wear Rajnikant style chashma, like do it like
Just
this?
my one.
Amazing, amazing. You know about this person that we don't want to give much footage to. Even I do decent,
I'll do
from
a
time to time.
Ojo imitation,
Yeah, sure, sure.
just for the sake of fans.
Yeah.
So people already know that statement. Where why don't you ask your mom to drink it? And I don't care a shit about respectability.
And then somewhere in the world someone says, ये है दोस्तों जो आपके सामने आज बात करने के लिए आ गए हैं.
There is one troll video which I loved saying, latest scientific theory में ये पाया गया था. And he'll stretch out all the marks.
Anyways, and now lots to talk. A lot was taught,
Yeah,
a
yeah.
lot remains, and I'm pretty sure somewhere down the line you will grace us again, and allow us to host you one more time.
Oh,
At
1 hour
any
part?
message that
Wow, so
it
cool.
did 1 hour 10 minutes. Any
Oh,
message that you want to send to people, and anything that you want to share from your heart before we wrap up?
thank you so much, Anna. The work that you're doing is very, very important. That's what I'm saying. Any support that you need in terms of promotions, channel, or my OTT is always open for you, and wish you all success. And you at least do those little right things and then survive the deep state. These people are against every Sanatani. They will not spare anybody. Elections are coming. 24 elections are coming, and they are really high on it.
Sure. Anyways, Anna, thank you so much for giving us the time today, and we hope again to host you in the future. And आज समय देने के
Always,
लिए एक बार फिर से जय श्री राम।
always, always. Thanks, Sri Ram.
जय श्री राम। So this was it. जैसे मैंने बोला, it has taken almost 1.5 years to make this happen, and sometimes crunch situations in life and the difficulties that we face, जो परिस्थिति जब खराब होती है, हमारे साथ भी हुई है भाई। हम भी मेंटली एग्जॉस्ट हो चुके थे, यूट्यूब के द्वारा 2 बारी डीमोनेटाइज करे जा चुके थे। अन्ना को तो सस्पेंड ही कर दिया नौकरी से। तो पहले वो डीएसपी थे, और अब एक्चुअली में कलेक्टर बन के ओटीटी प्लेटफॉर्म खोल दिया। सो एक्चुअली दैट इज अ प्रमोशन। तो अच्छा हुआ कि यूट्यूब से बाहर निकल गए। OTT is going to be much bigger than what he was on YouTube, and I'm pretty sure he's going to do amazing stuff and kick-ass production that he always does. Not to mention the research, क्योंकि सबसे important चीज वो है। Something that we try to keep it as a casual conversation, touch basing on वेरियस टॉपिक्स, थोड़ा ताकि हर किसी के बारे में, हर चीज़ के बारे में बात हो सके। जैसे मैंने बोला, कई चीज़ें बात करने को हैं, कई चीज़ें रह गई हैं। मे बी इन द फ्यूचर व्हेनेवर ही विल गेट टाइम, विल हैव मोर सेशंस, एंड और कुछ क्वेश्चंस चैट रूम से लेने की कोशिश करेंगे। फिलहाल डिस्क्रिप्शन बॉक्स में जाना, स्ट्रिंग जियो, STRING GEO, यूट्यूब पे, प्लेटफॉर्म पे, यूट्यूब पे अवेलेबल है उनका चैनल। प्लीज़ गो अहेड, सब्सक्राइब टू दैट। और वेबसाइट का, ओटीटी का जो वेबसाइट है, उसका लिंक भी डिस्क्रिप्शन बॉक्स में दिया हुआ है। प्लीज़ गो अहेड। 99 रुपये कुछ नहीं है यार। नेटफ्लिक्स के ऊपर तुम लोग ऐसे साल में 2-2 हज़ार रुपये, 5-5 हज़ार रुपये HD में देखेंगे, 4D में देखेंगे, वो सब लगाते हो। एंड फॉर व्हाट? फॉर शिटी कंटेंट। जहाँ पे आपको रजनीकांत का स्टाइल भी मिलेगा, हॉलीवुड का वीएफएक्स भी मिलेगा, और ऐसा रिसर्च मिलेगा जो बड़े से बड़ा फुद्दू और घबरांडू जो है वो आपको कभी लाके दिखा नहीं पाएगा। सो प्लीज गो अहेड, एंड आई एम नो वन टू से दिस और टू गिव अ शाउट आउट, बट माय रिक्वेस्ट टू यू इज, whoever is watching it right now, whoever is going to watch it later on, please support him the best possible way that you can, because he's trying to do something amazing. And let me tell you, after this conversation I've realized something. This guy is going to be something else in the next 10 years. And for him, for you to be connected to him, you need to start the journey with him now. Because बड़े लोगों को बाद में फॉलो करके कुछ नहीं होता है। जो ज़मीन से जुड़ा हुआ इंसान है, अगर उसको आज सपोर्ट करके उसके साथ आगे बढ़ोगे, तो उसका कंधा भी ऊंचा होगा और तुम्हारा कद भी उसके साथ रहेगा। एटलीस्ट दैट्स व्हाट आई बिलीव इन। बाकी मर्जी आपकी है। आज समय देने के लिए धन्यवाद। आई एम गोइंग टू सी यू गाइस टुमारो। होपफुली यू एंजॉयड दिस सेशन। प्लीज गो इट, शेयर इट, सब्सक्राइब टू द चैनल। घंटे पे क्लिक करके नोटिफिकेशन ऑन करो, एंड आई विल सी यू टुमारो। जय श्री राम, हर हर महादेव, शुभ रात्रि।